Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders across the globe. Please let me know that you can hear my voice and see a beautiful blue screen with all sorts of wonderful words on it. I would love to know that I can be seen and heard and that you are absorbing the incredibly intelligent utterances from the dulcet golden tones of my throat, the genius pouring out through the interwebs to your computer wherever you are here today. Thank you for meeting with us today. Jim, you're welcome. Pablo, thank you. Bruce, Jack, good to see you. Brian, Obaid, welcome. Many of you from the Facebook groups that I've been posting into this week. It is an honor and a privilege to be working with you here today, and I won't waste any of our time. My name is Michael. I am the founder of BackToTheFutureTrading.com, one of two partners here that work effortlessly and tirelessly to get the good news and the gospel of predictive timing signals to the people who need it most. And that would be you. Over the next hour plus or so, I'm going to be spending some time with you telling each of you how this works, what we've been doing, why we have a 4.9 out of 5 Trustpilot verified customer rating. We've been around for over 13 years, a proud member of the NinjaTrader ecosystem of vendors, how our customers continue to dominate, improvise, adapt, and overcome in every single market, including futures, forex, cryptocurrencies, stocks and options, puts and calls, whatever you're trading. This program can elevate your experience. So if that's okay with you, if you're okay with hearing about those things, we're going to add one more little toasty golden nugget to that. Today we've also got, I believe he'll be joining us here shortly, a customer who's been using the software for quite some time, a gentleman who needs no introduction. He's helped many of you and mentored numerous customers as well, teaching them the methods he employs using the tools I'm about to show you. Mr. Jacob will be joining us in just a short while, so stay tuned for that. You get to hear from the founder, the theorizer, Zeus from up top on the mountain, and then the demigod, Mr. Jacob, taking the tools out and conquering the markets with them. We are unique in that our software scans the historical data for temporal anomalies. That is to say, these times that I publish and we put out into the multiverse of the internet are recurring times lately where the markets you trade are doing suspicious things. People we believe in power conducting all sorts of clandestine shenanigans, rigging the markets that you trade. And we'll show you here incontrovertible proof that it's true. See, most of you are using some form of lagging indicator. You're shooting from the hip. You're listening to a guru. You're journaling. You're trying to make something that will never work because the rules of the game are fixed. And you're not playing by the rules. You're playing Monopoly when they're playing Chutes and Ladders. It's a completely different game. And so to prove that to you, my superior 100% transparent Eagle Scout oath of honor, never tell you a lie process is cheat proof. We are the only company that publishes the times and directions the markets you trade are likely to go up and down, publishing a small slice, a taste, an ongoing 13-year-long free trial. We come back 2 days later and we look and see what happened at the times. And if I believe what I believe and what I believe is true, what over 3,500 customers in every major financial market and continent of the world have discovered is true, again, we're going to see at the end of the webinar whether or not what we were expecting to happen since Tuesday took place. It's pretty bananas. And so if you're here today, it's not by accident. Most of the customers that are here will tell us they found us in a quirky, weird way. They weren't looking for anything new. They were at the bottom of their barrel. They were on their last prayer to Jesus, Muhammad, the Kwanzaa tree. They were in a really bad place, and then they found us right when they were about to give up. And so if that's you here today, I'm encouraged and excited by your presence. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. And so thank you for that. The way this works is pretty simple. Let's get rid of all this junk here. There we go. And bananas. Our software is the only software in the world that plots signals on the right-hand side of the chart. If you look at my screen right here, you'll see there are blue and white dots waiting to the right side of the time bar. Here is where we are in time right now. These are all the times and directions we were expecting markets to move. These are all the times and directions we're expecting them to move in the future. Now, how does that all work? Well, imagine for an instant that you're a Tesla day trader and you discover after sitting there at your computer at 10 o'clock on Monday, the market goes up until 11 o'clock. And then I want you to imagine that it does that on Tuesday. It goes up from 10 to 11. It does it on Wednesday. It goes up from 10 to 11 and so on. Every day for 2 weeks, it goes up from 10 to 11, from 10 to 11. What would you do on the 6th day? Jack, Herman? Glenn, what might you be tempted to do, David, on the 7th day? Would you maybe, if you were curious, just buy one share at 10 o'clock and see what happens? If it was that obvious to you, Thomas, Julian, if it was that obvious to you, you'd probably give it a shot, right? Hey, I'll take a chance with a little bit of risk and see if it goes up for an hour again. Well, the reality is this happens, but not quite as often as every day. And so when you're looking at this program, when you're looking at this indicator, this beautifully designed over 12,000 lines of code indicator, its only purpose, its only job electronically is to go sniffing around in the past lately and see if those things are happening on any measurable scale whatsoever. So when we're looking at a chart, for example, we're able to see if there were any hits on the radar. Were there any quote unquote 10 o'clock times where markets were consistently going up or consistently dropping? Okay. So on this chart that's on my screen, this is something I published in the Facebook groups 2 days ago. And I have to walk a narrow, fine line. I can't be perceived as promoting a product. So the ability for me to publish the times in the future lets me get around those promotional guidelines. I'm performing a free service. Excuse me. Take a sip of water here, at least as far as you know. Thank you. So when we're looking at the computer output for Thursday, these are all times that got a hit on the temporal radar. So if we're in a submarine looking at market data, 10:30, pong, pong, it's a hit. Lately, the powers that be, the thieves, liars, and pillagers in their mahogany-laden offices in New York City have been driving the S&P down at a 5-minute interval more often than not lately. That's the only reason this bar exists, not because of some magic, quote unquote, AI black box derived nonsense. Everyone's got AI all of a sudden. If you look at all the marketing, join us with our artificially intelligent optimized algorithm. It's like a 40-year-old tool that they have. It's pink now instead of green. Everyone's using the words AI. It's, oh, I want to almost hurl in my mouth. I keep seeing it. This is 12,000 lines of code saying, hey, Mike, when you get to Thursday at 10:30, pay attention, because these rat bastards keep doing it. And same thing for 9:05. These are the times that the same algorithm, without emotion, without any kind of discretion, have noted people in high places have put their fingers in the proverbial cookie jar. That's the only reason those times are there. The only ones whatsoever. And so we're going to come back and take a look at what happened at that chart in 1 second, because I'm either going to look ridiculous or I'm going to look like one of the smartest people you've ever met. And for many of you, I was that last hand reaching down before the bottom of your respective trading barrels. And for many of you, it was the turning point from failure to fantastic. We have one customer who's cashing out over $80,000 in funded accounts that he qualified for using the very tool and technique I'm about to show you. So when we go back into this weird PowerPoint, the process is fairly simple. For you to believe me, I've now put 3 or 4 pieces of a puzzle in place preemptively. On Tuesday, I send out these forecasts for a multitude of markets. For Wednesday and Thursday, the Emini SP, Dow, oil futures, gold futures, the DAX, euro currency, the NASDAQ, the euro dollar, the pound dollar, and Ethereum. A pretty big basket. My proverbial huevos are out there on the block for Thursday as well. Multitudes of markets. The biggest one, the one that blows everyone's cookies up, the one that destroys everyone's account, is the Emini SP. It's the most liquid, the most corrupt of all markets. And so we're here today because you've had 2 entire days to evaluate and prepare and wait to see if what I said might happen will. Okay, so we're going to enact a filter here. Number 1, we're going to talk about the signals, raw information, what happened at those exact times. And then we'll talk about the setup. What happens if we apply specific trading rules to each one of those times? Does anyone have any questions before we continue at this point? I want to talk about briefly the difference between a signal and a setup, because no 2 traders use our times the same way. That's the wonderful part of this. No 2 traders are using our signals the same way. Pull this over to the side and get that ready for you guys. Okay, and now, when we're talking about a setup, I'm talking about specific ways to enter and exit the system or the markets. When I'm talking about a signal, I'm looking at whether or not the thing we were expecting to happen actually took place or not. So let me give you an example of what I mean by signal versus setup. If we come back, for example, and we look at a market like oil futures, very volatile, unpredictable, it's oil. You get one guy in a rowboat in the Strait of Hormuz with an AK-47. The price of oil goes up $1 in a second. It seems like it's very subservient to these unpredictable things. And so if we look at the times that oil, for example, was expected to go up or down, we can look at these times that were published days in advance and now analyze, go sort of left to right to see what was expected at those times. So at 12:08, it was expected to go down based off of the times that were provided a few days ago. And then we can sort of work our way from left to right and see, when did the market go into a sideways pattern? When did the bottom kick in? When was there a small retracement and a push up, right? What's happening at these respective times or signals where the highs and lows are actually coming in. So when I refer to the signal, it involves all of the times. Does that make sense to everybody? It involves all of the times. One of the things that we've been doing is analyzing some of the larger stocks. Your friend and mine, Mr. Musk, and the company that he started all this with, Tesla. We've been following the price action now on TSLA in the webinars and looking at specific signals. And so as I pull that chart up here, I want you to see what I mean by signals. We have the times that are waiting for us on the right-hand side. These are the dates in the future that we're expecting things to happen. Wednesday, March 15th, right? Wednesday, April 5th. These are selling and buying times that we're expecting in the future. So if you're trading with the trend, your setup now involves a filtered signal on December 13th where you're waiting for a put to sell the market short. But you could just as easily have bought calls on January 24th and or purchased some shares and seen a 50% return using January 24th as a signal, right? So these signals, generally speaking, we're looking to see what percentage of the time are the markets actually doing what's expected when we arrive at the signal. And what we've discovered after the last 13 years or so is that these things produce these moves about 60 to 70% of the time as far as a setup is concerned. I have a customer who is taking long trades and short trades in Ethereum. And we were going earlier today going over the fact that there have been a number of predicted turns in Ethereum. January 24th, February 2nd, and then February 8th, and then the last signal was a pattern 7 on when? February 19th. And so we have the times waiting for us in the future, but if we look at the raw signal times, we can get a sense that about 2/3 of the time, the thing that we're waiting for is actually happening. So there's a difference between a signal and a setup. The setup that I teach involves entries in the direction of the market trend, right? Does that make sense? Entries in the direction of the trend. And so I'm watching for buying pressure signals in the direction of the moving average. In this instance, it's a 120 period EMA. It's a 120 period EMA. So when it's white and sloped up, we're looking for buying signals. When it's blue and sloping down, we're looking for selling signals. How do I define my setup? I enter at the close of the candle. I exit by the next time. I enter at the close of the candle. I exit at the next time. I enter at the close of the candle. I exit at the next time. Does that make sense? Is everyone kind of tracking and following what's going on here? My stop, as I defined it in the email to you and on the forecast page, It's 1.5 ATR values away, 1.5 average true range values away. And that means when the market is moving very quickly, the stop is larger. When the market is moving slower, the stop is smaller. So this is a trend entry system. It's an option. It's the simplest way to trade using with times or any signal for that matter, in my opinion. There's a variation of that signal setup called the crossover. If a buying signal starts out below the moving average and then it crosses over the moving average and closes there, some people call that an icebreaker candle. It breaks the ice and gets on top. I put my stop 2 ticks below that candle when it closes. I enter at the close of the candle and I exit by the next time. So a crossover is a variation of a signal with trend. 2 different setups here. The third one is the one that blows people's noggins. This one hurts people's brain pans a little bit, but I want to go into it for a second and just explain. My desk actually fell apart right in front of us. Hang on one second. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. There we go. My keyboard tray literally just fell out from under my arms. A puncture trend, a puncture signal. A puncture signal is when we are waiting for a counter trend signal. So 9:30 is supposed to be a selling time. It's supposed to be a selling time, meaning from here, it's supposed to drop down. It almost always lately goes down at 9:30. It's supposed to go down. And so when 9:30 comes, I have my stop line here, meaning I'm not expecting it to go past that blue line. I'm expecting it to go down. Well, what happens if the trend is up and it's not going down? Well, it's telling me that the people who are normally selling the market at this time, the people that are normally driving prices down at this time, are conspicuously quiet. Why aren't they following through? And so it goes a little higher, and it goes a little higher and a little higher. And I have a buy market order sitting right on that blue line. Because if they go past that blue line, I'm pretty much convinced it's safe to buy. There's no sellers here. It's like watching 50 guys walk across a field that might have landmines in it, and not one of them blows up. It's kind of a morose example. I don't know why I just thought of that. But when they cross that blue line, I'm a buyer. I'm going to hold that long until the next system signal. And I'm going to put my stop 1 tick under the puncture candle or 1 tick over the puncture candle. Let's look at an example in today's E-mini NASDAQ, and you'll see what that was giving us. How do I delete all of my drawings on the screen here? There we go, erase all drawings. So here were the signals for the E-mini NASDAQ today. This is my jam, my market of choice. Now check this out. I'm going to go through this with you very quickly because I want to make sure Jacob has time. At 12:22, I'm expecting a long signal. It tells me that the market historically, one of our 10 o'clock times, right, has been going up from 12:22 to 12:36 on the 1 minute time frame frequently. It's been happening a lot. Yeah, to the right of the signals, you'll see these are the forecasts waiting for us in the Asian session now, right? All of these times on the right-hand side are sitting here waiting for us to trade in the future. But back here, These were the times that just showed up. These were the predictions we've been waiting on for 2 days. 12.23, it's still below the moving average. And then 12.24, it's a crossover trade. It closes above the average, and I exit by 12.36. That's a $400 winner. Larry, if you're watching from home, all of my signals are always the same settings. It's a swing strength of 8, calendar days 7/14/00. These are my default webinar settings. I never change them. Always. Daily is set to 3,650, 7/14/00 with a swing strength of 8, Esmeralda. Thank you. I get to 12.43 and that signal is above the moving average. I'm buying with everybody else. Close of the candle, I'm in. When am I out by? 12.54. Boom. That's another $20 times 9, $180 trade. 109 comes, the candle closes, high close candle. By the time I get to 127, it's a little lower than we started. I lose $2. Womp womp. 132 comes. The candle closes. I enter at the close, 11,921. Now, historically, how long do I have for this trade? 132 to 151. The computer is telling me, hey, Mike, over thousands of historical bars lately, I found something. Some bigwig in a leather-clad office has got his fingers in the cookie jar. He might do it again. You shouldn't risk more than this to find out, though. Okay, let's try it. Enter at the close, exit at the close. That's a $37 move over $640 per contract. Huh. Does it look kind of like I drew the dots in by hand? Like I went back with some photoshopped stuff and said, hey, let me try to convince these weirdos that this stuff actually works, and I'm going to go in after the fact and write these dots. Or what did I tell you I would do to make sure you all believed in everything I was telling you? I told you that I would give you the times 2 days before and that we would look at the times together. And here, if we look at the map, right? Remember Dora the Explorer? I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map. 157, you see it right there? 157, 151, 151. These are times you've had since Tuesday, guys. 151 comes and it's not going down. It's going up. It's going a little more up. It's going a little higher. It's getting closer to that line. Boom, there's my buy stop. I'm in. I'm a buyer. And I'm going to hold it a full whopping 2 minutes where I make $60 per contract. My stop would have been 1 tick below the puncture candle, just like the slides that I show you every week for the last 13 years. 157, uh-oh, what does the PowerPoint tell us to do when we have a signal in the direction of the trend? We buy. When? At the close. And hold until when? The end of the time cycle. Boom. We're done. $43. That's an $800 move per contract. That's an $80 move per micro contract. What was it supposed to do at 210? It was supposed to drop. Why? Because that's what they did over and over again lately, and you don't remember because you're a human being. And they play off of those vulnerabilities. So up at 132, down at 210, up at 222, down at 236, up at 234, down from 256 until 312, up until 334. Those are the signals. This is the setup. I buy and I get out. I buy and I get out. I buy and I get out. That's the difference between raw data and a rules-based trading system. Add it up. Ready? 20, 30, 60, 70, 111, 120, 150 minus 2, let's call it 140 with slippage and commissions. $140 if you placed the trades when I told you to, using the rules that I gave you 2 days ago. That's $2,800 in one session. In the afternoon, after lunch, worse conditions. Earlier today, the one that breaks everybody, the market that breaks everybody, is the Emini SP. And I come into these forums and I put the same information that I send to people on our email list. And I said, hey, Emini SP 500 traders, look, here are the times for today. It's a blank canvas. I want you to see when they had it. 6 hours ago. Here are the times. I'm going to be trading with trend. 9:05, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? We're waiting for it to poke its little white head above that moving average, like a submarine punching up through the ice. And we were waiting. And guess what? It popped above it. And we finished by 10:30 with a $300 gain. 10:30 came and I shorted it because I'm an idiot. But I believe in the software. I only made a couple $100 on the way back down. 12:15 is a signal with trend. What do you do with those? I buy it. And I got out by 12:50. Now I want you to keep track of something. I was having conversations with some of you. And I sent out an email. I sent out notes around lunchtime and I said, hey, there's some stuff going on and I want you to see what I wrote to one of you. I said, hey, just wanted to let you know that today's webinar is at 4 o'clock. I'm watching the ES right now. I don't think my counter trend trade is going to work. I think it's going to do this. And I put a diagram on the screen. And I told them, I said, hey, when we start getting to these buy times, I think it's going even higher. Because at the sell time at 10:30, it didn't go down. It stayed where it started. No matter how hard they tried to sell into 10:30, it was just profit taking. It wasn't a trend reversal. And I said, hey, it's doing what a 150-year-old diagram is telling us will happen. When we get to these buy times, it's going to go up. And no one believed me. The guy that I wrote the note to was short. And I said, get out of your short. I don't think it's going to work. $135 comes. 135 comes. When we arrive at a buying pressure signal that exists only because banks have done it over and over again, when we arrive at that signal in the direction of the trend, which is up at that point, no matter how much you think it's going to go down, no matter what your foreign guru said to you in your $900 a month guru room. Well, everybody, I've been trading for 19,000 years, and it is my professional opinion that there are no potential buyers here, and this is all going down many thousands of points and blah, 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 blah. Despite all of your biases and what your order flow said and your volume indicator and your grandma, all of those things were meaningless to the fact that for the last several weeks at 135, JP Morgan's team over at JP Morgan set their algorithms on fire and turned them loose on this market at 135. And you didn't remember because you're human. Where do we enter? At the close of the candle. How long do we stay in the trade? We stay in the trade until 335. That's a $37 move per contract. Is anyone freaked out a little by this? It never punctures the blue line where my buy order is sitting, so I escape that pullback. It's on the other side, and I just sit here. And what does it do? One candle later, it pulls back down. It's very hard to do this for me because 90% of people ignore what I tell them. They kind of treat me like a novelty. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Good little trader, Mike. You and your precious little thing. But guys, that's over $1,500 of trades. That's over $2,000 of trades per contract. In the hardest market in the world to trade. This is the market that everyone blows their account up on, the S&P. All of you have. I did 15 years ago. And I told the guy that I was talking to, I said, hey, just buy the software. You lost $4,000 in one trade, 4,000. And I showed him a $2,000 gain during the same period of time where he was guessing. And I had statistically relevant facts, start times, stop times, directions. Never heard from him. The Facebook conversation stopped. Radio silence. People don't want to believe this. They don't want to believe it's true. Because if they believe it's true, it's an acknowledgement that almost everything they've done up until that point in time is useless. It's an admission of failure that they got taken by a vendor or a marketing group. Man, if all these moves are pre-planned, what is my journaling doing? Not much. Not much. Any questions about this before I continue? Jacob, are you around? Yep, let me make you an organizer just so you're there. I'm going to be about 5 more minutes, bro. So as we go back in the past, right, and we look and we see what percentage of these signals are actually arriving at the times that we're expecting these moves to occur, it's a lot. It's a lot. And you can see what's happening at these times. Is it going to be like this every day? No, of course not. It's trading. Is it going to be 100% winners every day, every week? No. The only guy that I ever met, that I ever knew about, I never met him, was Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff had a 100% rating, a 100% expectancy. That's the only person I've ever heard about who had a perfect winning streak. But can it put you in front of these trades where what you're expecting to see happens more often than not? Yeah. Yeah. And as we go back day after day, do you see it's not much different? What if you were a seller and you were shorting the ES on this day from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, and from here to here, and from here to here. I sound like the Swedish chef from the Muppets. Hurdy, 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 hurdy. What if you shorted the puncture right here and your sell stop was right on the bottom of that white line? How loud would you yell? Loud enough for your wife to hear, "We're going to Disney World!" It just happens. Every day, more often than not, I'm sitting in front of a trade that works for me. More often than not, in the direction I was expecting it to go. And here's the thing that bothers me. Most of you have seen this a bunch of times. You know already that I have the times for tomorrow. They're here. They won't change, disappear, or repaint. You know that it's possible to see them, to have them. And despite having lost anywhere from 4,000, a few weeks ago, I met someone who lost 400,000. He was an assistant fire chief. He said, "I have a newborn on the way and I just lost our life savings. I want to take my own life." True story. Despite all of that, I'm the weirdo. I'm the moon cycle guy. I'm the wackadoodle. Let's scrunch up this chart. Look, there's 435, there's 635, there's 750, 940, 1040, 1205, 10 o'clock, 925. They're right there, Yusuf. I have the times for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right now. And guess what? When you trade them over a large swath of time, the model has a positive expectancy. Over 100, 200, 300, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900 executions. The model has a positive expectancy because we're tracking the people who move the markets. If you're not convinced that they're doing it, you're not paying attention. JP Morgan, for example, was recently fined $1 billion. Billion with a B. Billion. Guess what they were doing? Manipulating the futures markets. This isn't conspiracy theory. This isn't tinfoil hat stuff. This is real. Oh, I guess they did that again. And guess who was responsible for forming the Federal Reserve? Guess who's responsible for setting monetary policy in this country? The fourth branch of the elected, the fourth unelected branch of the U.S. government. Good old JP, sitting right there. I visited this place. If you believe in ghosts, take your crystals and your copper rods down to Jekyll Island. There's some evil crap down there. They need to set fire to some sage and run around that building. JP Morgan, a Jekyll Club member, personally bailed out banks. Take a ride down to South Carolina. It's a hoot. Those are the people that got fined $1 billion. Guess what? They pay $1 for every $3 they make in fines. If they pay $1 billion, they made $3 billion that year. Do you understand? It's like stealing 3 TVs from Walmart and they let you keep 2 on your way to the van. I want this for you. I want you to be successful. I want you to be part of the group of people that leave verified customer reviews for the product. For 13 years, we pay $6,000 a year to Trustpilot so they can write their reviews and we can't delete them. I pay $6,000 to somebody for the privilege of not being able to delete a review or edit a review. You understand how crazy the world is that I have to do this? And despite all of that, only about 5 out of 100 people who see what I've shown you. Irrefutable proof, complete transparency, 100%. Taught by an Eagle Scout. Look me up. 1989, on my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. The last 2 words in the oath. I'm 100% honest, and it bothers people. If you want to purchase the software, I'm not going to do the usual sales presentation. I just want to tell you where to go and what promo code to use before Jacob comes on and teaches us what he's been doing with the software as a customer. The program you're reviewing is called TachEon Warp. We name stuff after Star Trek and Star Wars and sci-fi movies because we're nerds. The program is called TachEon Warp. It's on our product page. If you click on the Learn More button of TachEon Warp, it will take you to the information page. I will paste the link into your GoToWebinar chat box. I'm also going to paste the promo code, which is WARPOFF, all lowercase, WARPOFF. If this is something you would like to use and to have and to know in the future, I don't want to have a conversation with you about your super amazing AI optimized software. I don't care. It doesn't work. 15 years I've been watching these things and talking to people. 1,000 customers a year for 15 years. That's 15,000 people. I can count on one hand the percentage of them that had some super optimized system that was amazing for them. I can count on both hands the number of traders that are using volume successfully or order flow amazingly. It's too hard because the game is fixed. I'm not interested in sharing information with you about your system. I don't care. It doesn't work. Too many customers came here with scars from the things that you were using. If you're done, if you're ready, if you want to accelerate what you're already doing and hold trades longer, get out of losers faster, trade less. Do it on a 9-second chart, a 30-second chart, a daily or a weekly chart. Here's where you go. Buy now, promo code WARP OFF, WARPOFF. Force and Warp are completely different. If you're interested in Force, email me privately and I'm happy to go over it with you. Do you only take the time signal when the price is above or below the MA? If the price is below the MA and there's a buy signal, do you trade? Yes, but I'm not supposed to. I'm not supposed to. And the reason for that is simple. So for example, Glenn, if I'm using your example here on Tesla, what I will generally do is if I have a sell signal in the direction of a trade like this, Glenn, can you see how that's a 2-to-1 risk reward on December 13th? This is my risk, 1 amount of risk, 2 amounts of risk for my reward. What I've done personally, because I have so many counter trend demons, is on a counter trend signal, I will use 1-to-1 risk reward. Does that make sense, brother? So if I'm willing to risk from here to here, my stop, I'm out at 127.5. I'm in at 145.65, and I'm out up in the 163 area. That's the way that I've gotten around that, and it's helped me tremendously to avoid that. In rare instances, I'll put my stop right underneath that candle. So on November 29th, I'll put my stop right below the signal candle. And that's how I get around that. If it's going to work right away, I don't want to be swearing at the TV screen when I missed it. So yes, another way, Glenn, that people do that. I don't want to dissuade people, we can put on other confirmation tools. Some people use a VWAP, some people use a Bollinger Band or a Keltner channel, Glenn. And when they have a signal at the top of the band, they'll short it. When they have a signal at the bottom of the band, they'll buy it. What the heck is that sound?
I was playing a little guitar background for you, buddy.
Jesus Christ, I thought my computer was freaking haunted.
I was just playing a little guitar while I'm waiting for my signal.
You're freaking me out, man. Glenn,
Such a humor in the meeting, you know?
I usually have 48 windows open with Chrome. And I'm like, did I leave on like Yanni? What happened? But Glenn, do you see like this signal here at 512? If it had closed at or under the Keltner, I could buy that. And then I would use the distance of the bands as my stop or the white line, and then trade to the middle or the second band. That's an example of a way to use a counter trend signal. And then similarly up here, Glenn, if I'm at 204 and I'm expecting a sell signal, 404, I'll short it when it touches the upper band and use the middle and the lower bands as targets. Right? So no, you're not, it's not like you're not allowed to trade those. It's just, it's more difficult and it requires more rules to verify the entry. Trend trades as a general rule are 50 to 55% profitable, with warp a profit factor between 1.5 and 2. The Pro Training Room is a live room that trades futures Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 to 12, guided by my partner who's a trader as well as a customer who's trading live accounts during the New York Open. So some people, Brian, want to see somebody taking the signals as they're taking them, and we provide a trading room for people who like to learn that way. One of our star pupils, in every respect, all around great guy, great dad, wonderful teacher, amazing trader, Jacob Royal. I want to introduce you to him. We're going to go ahead. If you'll put your bridge over.
I'm going to play a concert instead, actually.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
Holy moly, Peter, okay. Paul, Mary, and Jacob over there. I'm going to make you the presenter. And I would encourage you guys, pick his brain, ask him questions about me. I'm actually going to leave the webinar. So if he says weird stuff about us, it won't hurt my feelings. And see how he's using the program. Jacob, tell him a little bit more about how you found us, what life was like beforehand, good, bad, or otherwise, and what your experiences have been since then. And don't shout Freebird at him while he's doing his presentation.
I don't play that Freebird stuff.
No, Freebird! All right, I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your webinar. If you're on Facebook and you friended me, send me questions. If you get emails from David, he's part of our team. He helps people onboard, and he can get you set up if you have any questions. And let Jacob tell you how he's been using it and how it's changed his life. Have a great day, everybody. I love you all. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Mikey. Is he gone yet? Gotta love that guy. Gotta love that guy. So I had to put a little guitar in there just so I can show my daughter the video later and be like, look, 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 I'm famous. Look, I'm on YouTube. So we literally have time to pick up a musical instrument while we're waiting for these signals. Anybody want to let me know things that they have done while waiting for signals? Any customers out there? Go to the bathroom, make yourself some breakfast, play guitar, maybe piano. All sorts of things you could do. Have a dinner, lunch, go to the market. Oh, what are we gonna do today? How's it going, everybody? Got some people here today. Oh, dang, look how many there are. Let's see how many people I can scare away in the first 5 minutes. All right, here we go. Have a sip of that. Can you folks see my screen? Check, check, 1, 2. Thank you, Pablo. Anybody who doesn't have the software? Probably a few of you folks. There's a lot of people here today. That's awesome. So yeah, I've been a customer with Back to the Future for 2.5 years. So it'd be September. So September, October, November, December, January, February. 2.5 years exactly. I think it's my 2.5 year anniversary. And to celebrate my 2.5 year anniversary, I'd like to go over this here NASDAQ chart with you guys. Okay. First, I need to turn my microphone down because there's some weird dude talking. Okay. Oh, nice. Good job, Pablo. Good job just buying it. Ever since I bought the software, I haven't been able to look at the markets the same way. Once one buys the software and sees for themselves and just watches, just looks at it day after day, it's pretty miraculous thing. At no point have I ever had buyer's remorse. And thank you to Michael and Ron for inventing the software and just for all the extra education that I didn't expect to be part of the Back to the Future family. I'm not a sales guy, but I would highly recommend buying this thing. And to buy it, Michael already showed you how to buy it on the website, but if I were you folks, I'd call Dave, because I bet you Dave can do some special like backroom deals or something. I don't know about price tags or whatever. That's not my job, but I'm pretty sure he could do something like buy now, get a free session with Jake that you buy on the website, which aren't exactly cheap. So it'd be worth it. It'd be worth it to get, you know, whatever the discount is today. I think it was $500 off plus a session with me, which on the website, I think they're charging a couple $100 for a session, you know, because they got to take theirs. They got to take theirs, and I gotta get mine. And to me, it's really not about the money for those sessions. It's more about the person who I'm going to meet with showing commitment to what we're going to be going over. That's what I like about it. Actually, it's not like I'm getting rich here, making a couple bucks here and there, teaching you folks stuff about patterns or whatever. Been having a lot of good meetings lately with people, and been learning a lot, firming up a lot of things. Yeah, I've been blessed to work with a fellow customer actually on a system. He was a student of mine for one session. I was like, man, this guy's got something. I think, yeah, man, he can back test like I can. It's been a dream, probably better. And the dream is he's doing it and I'm not. And he's really good at it. But I haven't looked at the NASDAQ 3-minute for a while. Oh, he's doing it now. He's doing it live. I don't know if anybody has not seen, if you're a Bill O'Reilly fan or not, you remember that guy, Bill O'Reilly? I think he's still alive. I think he was a conservative news host back in the day, I believe. I actually never watched him back in the day. But anyway, this friend of mine was like, oh, you got to see this YouTube video of Bill O'Reilly. It's called I'm Doing It Live. And I highly recommend checking it out if you need a good laugh. It's only 1.5 minutes, maybe 3, something like that. But I don't want to spoil it for you. Bill O'Reilly, doing it live. Okay, doing it live. So all my times here on the screen are East Coast. I'm on the West Coast, but since I do so much work with people on the East Coast and all over the world, I figured why not just sync up with New York time. Yeah, I haven't looked at NASDAQ for a while. I'm gonna do my customary deep breath thing here, just 2 deep breaths. Settle into the chair. And 1 more, if anybody wants to join, all the way in. Oh, feel all warm and fuzzy knowing that Weston's back testing for me. There's so many ways to trade Back to the Future software, and I am one of those kinds of people who has just an annoyance, actually, an annoying amount of ideas, a fountain of ideas. So it's been nice to work with this individual to help rein me in on one particular direction. But a lot of the sessions that I've had with people over I guess I've been the instructor here for, oh man, has it been a year? Might be getting close to a year, 8 months, 9 months, something like that. Anyway, most of them have been NASDAQ or ES, usually NASDAQ, but most of them have been the system that I'm going to go over with everybody today. And then I also wanted to share with everyone who currently has the software something that's pretty cool that I have been noticing with patterns, with the 4s and the 5s especially. In fact, why don't, let's see, let's just start with this 939 signal. This is today, right? Today. Yes, this is today. So let's start with this 939 signal. You'll notice that there's no HMA. We're going to try to go naked today, no HMA. So I'm going to show you folks, anybody who has not seen this basic, this is the oldest system that I've been teaching on the webinars from way back months and months ago. Let me start by adding a little bit more margin on the side here. Take some extra margin, some extra butter, and then how about 400? There you go, okay. All right, so I don't want to see what's going to go on over there. All right, I didn't cherry pick this day. This is today. I really honestly have no idea how this is going to go. But I know that I've taught this system before, and I know that I don't feel like using the HMA today because I want to try to show you folks some stuff that I've learned about patterns that I don't know, depending on how it goes, if I can explain things properly, maybe even Michael and Ron would be like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool, Jake. Maybe we should incorporate that into the histogram guide. Maybe that's how cool it is. What I think maybe I found here, a quantitative way to call out those pattern 4s and 5s, other than just having the software do it. Because the software does it. It does a good job at it, but it can be delayed depending on what time frame you're using, and that's not the software's fault. It's just the nature of the markets and just the nature of any software. So here at 939, let's just go over the basic premise of the original Royal Warp system that I call it, that I started teaching on the webinar way back. So at 939, there's a buy dot. Buy dot, hello, I'm a buy dot at 939. That means the price should go up, or could go up, I should say, because basically what these dots they're what I make up as an average or an overlay of swings and a higher probability. We'll just put it this way. At 939, I believe that there's a higher probability, or the dot is saying that there's a higher probability of the price going up than going down. Now, it does matter how the price action ends up at the dot, but we're gonna go over that in a little bit. For now, I just want to show you the basic premise of the system. So at 939 white dot, that means buying time. So there's a buying window from 939 to 1051. 1051 is a selling window. Okay, so at 939, I'm just gonna make this bigger again. At 939, we have the next candle after the signal candle. This is a signal candle here. Let's not do that, okay. This one closes above the open price line. What's the open price line, you ask? The open price line is this white line right here. And before anybody asks, my settings are the same as Michael's. Look back 714, swing 8. Okay. So because this candle, the next candle, any candle, closes above the open price line, that means that we trust this 939 signal, and we're gonna go long there. And we're gonna base our targets off of the ATR of 1. off of just this one candle. So we can enter market. I think this signal works. We can enter a market buy right there at the close of that candle. So that's going to be our entry. 3. And it's going to be 3 positions. Some people that I've been with actually are saying that it's better just to do 1 position. So I'll show you the 3 at first. I'll have random people, random customers send me emails or Skype messages. Hey man, I've been using X system that you taught on the webinar and it's been really good. Thanks so much. I'm like, oh, great, sweet. Thanks for letting me know. So we could just use 1 position here, but I'm gonna show you the 3. So enter 3 positions at the close of that candle right there. I'll put that right there on top of that. And our target 1 and our target 2. Target 2. And then because we have 3 positions, obviously we need 3 stops. And then there's a 3rd position that's going to be a runner. So this is the oldest system that I've been teaching here. So target 1 is going to be on this line. Target 2 is going to be on this line. The runner is going to be a 3rd position. Who knows where it's going to go? But as soon as target 1 is hit, we're going to move these 3 stops, which are down here, to the break-even point where our entry was. So we'll have 3 stops that are 15 ticks below. Let's make this red. Time zone on the system, Esmeralda. You got to do that through your compute. You can do that through what I did on my. I did it through my computer's time. So I clicked on the calendar time thing. I did it through my computer settings. I can't exactly remember how I made sure that Ninja was synced up with that. I'm changing this to red to symbolize the stops. And there's 3 of them. And they're going to be 15 ticks away. Let's see if that's about 15 ticks. So I call it a 15 tick pad. There's 18. There's 15. All right, so moving along. Oh, there you go. There's target 1. So target 1 is hit. Sweet. Okay, so that means we only have 2 stops left. We can delete that. Move these 2 stops to break even. Target 2. Oh, there's target 2. Target 2 is hit. Just dragging that out. So target 2 is hit there. So that means we only have 1 stop left, and we're just going to hold this runner until the next signal. And if you want, you can trail this. You can trail this stop. So if I have a candle closing above actually, well, it would be this way. I was thinking about the other RVR tool that I have. This is just a Fibonacci tool, by the way, that I can certainly give you if you want to sign up for a class or whatever. Find me on Skype, Jake Royal, JakeRoyall on Skype. So as soon as we got to close above T2, we can move our stop to where T1 was. That's pretty legit. And moving along, and did we get stopped? We might have got stopped there. So if we wanted, we could say target 1, 83 ticks, target 2, 170 ticks, and we got stopped at T1 for the runner, which is, let's see, from here to here. If we didn't move our stop, we could have got an extra 80 ticks out of that runner. But that's the basic idea. Enter on a candle that closes above the open price line. Measure with this Fibonacci tool. I'll just show you folks the settings. You can make this yourselves. Pretty easy. Just Fibonacci edit price levels, and these are the percentages. This video will be on YouTube later, so you can just go back. Tomorrow it'll be posted for sure. And just go back and watch it and push pause right here at this part, and you can see the percentages that I used. And here's the colors, all gray. And then once I get to 100.99, I make it red, 0.1 green, 9999 green. Okay. And then we get to 1051, and let's see if we got to close below this time, below the open price line for a short. Oh, we do right here. I have no idea if this is going to work or not, but I just wanted to show you what I'm looking for. So our market sell is right here at the close of this candle, target 1, target 2. Looks like we're probably going to break even or stop out on this one. Yep, there we go. And we had a 15 tick pad. But that's the basic idea. So I showed you one win and one loss. That was all intentional. 69, and we do that times 3. So you could do that. That's an option. Or you could just take all of your, you could just take a T1 on it. That way you have way less risk. You only have 2 stops that way. You just wait for a candle to close above and shoot for a target 1. And then here at 1124, if we wanted to go long here, this is just dot to dot, no HMA, no EMA, no nothing. Then we would wait for a close above the open price line, which we do not get. So we saved ourselves a loss there possibly. This would be a good spot to show you folks. It's not quite good enough. And then 1151, we got a close below. Looks like this will probably be a stop out too. I can already tell. Yep. And then 212, looking for a close above. Dinky little thing. And another stop out. This day wasn't that great on the 3-minute. And that happens. I just want to show you the system. And there's a close below. Yeah, it's pretty much crap today. Oh, until you get to this, where you make everything up. If you're going to trade this, whatever the heck this was, unforecasted econ, there's our close above. And our T1 here. And T2 was there. And close there. So let's see, you would have had, then these losses, it's plus the 15. And then these plus the 15, probably right about there. And then these, that's pretty rare to see 3 losses in a row like that. Let's see, and then here, like really rare. But I didn't look at this, I'm not cherry picking this day. I don't really care, I just want to show you the system. 203, and then we close below here. And you get a T1, and then you get 2 runners that have to close here at the next dot. This is like the simplest possible thing that I could teach. Close above, besides what Michael already taught, of course. And we get a T1, and then these are break even. Control-C, Control-V. Then we get a no closes below. Then we have a close below. There's a close above. Right there, and bam. Target 1. Target 1, the others are stopped at break even. Okay, and now at 336, looking for a close below. There's a close below. Right there. But I had a chin there. Bam. See what happens with that. T1, stop at break even. And then the others are break even right here. Chink, bam. Okay, and that's the day, 16:05. So that's the end of the day there. So we can just total that up real quick if we felt like it. Or better yet, somebody could just do it for me. I like to sub out the work. People say, oh, people have this idea, I think, that trading is like easy money and it's not hard work. Yeah, right. Blood, sweat, tears. Blood, sweat, tears, neck pain, back pain, sitting in chairs, eyes burning. But this software makes it a lot easier. Should we see if this day was profitable or not? Geez, that's a lot. Oh, that's not that much. You know, that's that. And T2. And I didn't do stops to, I didn't move. Oh, is that a break even? That might be a break even. Ooh, that's close. That is close. We're gonna have to zoom in. We're doing it live. Zooming in. I need to know. Let's get that more accurate there. Nope, was not a stop at break even, so I'm gonna keep that one as that runner there because we didn't do the trail stop thing on any of the other ones. We just let them go. All right. Looks like it was a profitable day. If you would have taken every single one of those signals like a champion, like a boss, you're capable of such a thing. There we go. There we go. All right. Total them up. Oh, that's profitable. I can already tell. I'm not going to do more than just this day because my hand hurts from all the work I've been doing on this my current strategy that I'm using. And you might ask, why don't you just use this strategy? I don't understand. Because the strategy that I'm using now offers it fits for what I'm trying to do better. Not that this isn't profitable, but making money and profit, well, making money obviously is the main goal of all systems, but that's not the only thing that needs to be designed into a system, right? I don't think people realize that your own psychology, your schedule, a lot of people do realize, but a lot of people don't. All of that has to be built into your system as well. Like I gotta drop my daughter off at school Monday and Tuesday, right in the middle of the morning session. I gotta build that into my system. So personally, I'd rather trade the afternoon. No interruptions. And certain people have certain dispositions. Maybe I've been experimenting a lot with the ES right now, for instance. Maybe it's time for me to calm down, step away from the NASDAQ. I don't know. Does anybody have that totaled up yet? Just kidding. What should we do it? I had to eat one of my Valentine's Day candies that I bought for myself. I had to buy them myself. Nobody bought them. The tool to calculate the wins and losses, Glenn, is you. Start squinting. Come on, start squinting. Get out the calculator. Oh, I had to do it. Sorry, Glenn. Oh, you mean this thing? Oh, what's that? Oh, is this a back test that we're currently working on? That's not even all the days. Oh, what's that? 21,000. Oh, look at that win rate. Oh, just kidding. It's not 100%. It's like 78% or something. I think it's gonna end up being better than that in the afternoons. Let's see. Is it working? Let's see if it's working. Oops. I don't know. It takes too much effort to do that way. I'm just gonna use the stinking calculator. It's already hard enough. Let's see, 83. Just gonna do the winners first. Minus. Those are all break even, so minus 48, minus 48, minus 48, minus 43, minus 43, minus 43, minus 71, minus 71, minus 71, minus 69, minus 69, minus 69. And I believe I kept the 15 tick times 3 incorporated into those. So 787 times $5 a tick, 4,000 bucks. Did I beat Michael? What was Michael's? Did I beat him? I don't know. We weren't using the same chart anyway. He was using a 1 minute. Chart with the flag data box. Chart with that leaves the flag data box. What? What's that? That would be great if that's a real thing. I'm sure it is. Where's the tool to calculate the wins losses? The tool you are drawing on the chart with that leaves the flag data box. Oh, darn it. I thought we were talking about like some little data box that I didn't know about that like I could just find in the control center that would automatically calculate up the wins and losses for me. Like that would be so sick. Oh, got my hopes up. NQ is not $2, Brian. What are you talking about? $2. $2. $2? No, for a it's also not $2 for micros. 50 cents. 50 cents per micros per tick. And we're on NASDAQ, so it's $5. $5. Yes, so the Brian, it's funny. I'm like, I've been looking at the NASDAQ for over 6 years and I was wrong about the ticks the whole time. Oh no. That would be crazy. I believed it for a second too. Oh, you're welcome, Pablo. Have a good one, man. Yes, the flag data box, Glenn. It's let's see, the tool. I made mine a hotkey, just control space. But then you can also find it under drawing tools, or is it ruler? I have it programmed as control space with hotkeys. And then once you're on it, you can click on it, then right click, then go to properties, and you can tell it what you want it to display. You can display ticks or whatever, points and stuff. And what was I going to say? And you can also obviously change the colors and whatnot. And it also tells you how many bars. So see up here the bars, 0 bars. And as we push through, 20 bars. So we can see how long some of these trades took. Like this one was 9 bars, 8 bars. It also gives you the time there, 27 minutes, 24 minutes. Pretty cool stuff there. So what was this? 4,000 bucks? Or using micros, it'd be 400. Of course, minus commissions. So, wait, what was that? Was that 39.9? 39.35. Oops, get out of there. 39.35. Yeah, you're boss enough to trade every one of those signals just like that. Yeah, so let me, I'm not saying that it's gonna work out any better to trade with patterns. I mean, that was just dot to dot. Let's see, I just wanna show you folks, I'm intentionally cherry picking now, fully admit it, because I wanna show you some examples of this pattern thing that I think I figured out. Geez, I'm crow, why is everything looking so, I can't find any. Usually they just jump right out at me. No. 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 Come on. Oh, here's one. I think it's because I'm used to looking at other things lately. That's not the best for, I want to show you, it's way easier to explain if I can find a really good one. And then we can start drilling down into some more specifics. Bear with me for a second. You know what's going to be helpful? I'm just going to throw on the NinjaTrader swing indicator real quick. I actually recommend that if you're going to trade patterns, just have this on your chart. Make it easier on yourself. Elemental PQRS, swing. Swing one. Okay. So all this is doing is just showing us where the swings are. Highly detailed as well. Let's look at yesterday. Oh, here we go. Perfect. I don't even need the swing on there. All right. So say we didn't know what was happening from like right here at 12:30. There's a swing low, right? NinjaTrader put that on there because we told it to. I didn't come up with that as a swing low. It just is. You know, we should probably make this. I'm not used to looking at the 3-minute lately. Let's make this like 3. So there's less of them. Let's make it a 5. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna load up my other fib tool. Where is it? Let's do this one at first, actually. There we go. And I'm gonna make this my default for now. Oops. Save as default, yes, okay. All right, so say we saw this low. We're looking at the price moving up. All right, well, how I trade now is I'm pretty much constantly have one of these tools on the chart. And we see that, all right. And then the next bar would close and we don't need to adjust anything. I'm looking at this 1254. Well, I'm not worried about these patterns right now just yet. And then we'd see that high put in. And we could even say, oh, well, that looks like a swing low. We could even just do this, which I'm just going to switch back. Sorry about this. I think we need like a 2. There we go. Perfect. See how it drew the swing in there? Like, oh, well, that was a retracement. All right. Pretty obvious. Up, NinjaTrader puts the swing there. We can see then down into what? 50%. So often it's 50%. I don't care that much about other percentages. 50%. We're just talking about 50% right now. So that came down, touched 50%, and lo and behold, it goes up. Okay, and now we start a new leg. So we can take this tool and just move it right here. So we're at the bottom there. And I would say we're uptrending. So we'd be here. This is all we know. Oh, we made another high. Yeah, we'll just drag that up there. 3 minutes goes by. Oh, another high. Okay. Oh, no need to adjust the fib tool. Oh, look at that. We just bounced off the 50% there. Oh, 1254. Oh, we're still going up. Okay. Let's drag this over. We want to stay in aligned. Don't need to drag the high up anywhere though. And now we can see right here. This is what I want to show you. Is this a pattern 4? I think so. Let's get this off of here for a second. Is that a pattern 4? Most people, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so. Probably. Looks like a lower low, but wait a minute. Is it a lower low than that low? No, it's not. Shoot. Well, how do I know this is a pattern 4? Oh, it's a pattern 4 because it's a new low. Well, how do you know it's just not going to keep going lower? What if the new low is actually here or here or here? So what I've been realizing is using just a simple 50% fib tool, we can actually do it all the way from this one if we want, from that leg. Might be easier to visualize this way. So this whole impulse move up and then down, we're right to the 50%. We're a little lower than the 50%. So the idea is if on a blue dot, and for anybody who doesn't understand the patterns, or this is probably going to go over your head, but I'm just speaking to people who already understand what the patterns are. 2 is down, 4 is up, 1 is up, 5 is down. Because we retraced 50% from this leg up at either the candle before, the candle of the signal, or it could be the candle after the signal candle. Any one of these 3 candles hits a 50% retracement of the prior leg. I'm calling that a 4, but I've been calling it a special kind of 4, a PB 4, pullback 4, because it might not be a lower low. It's not a lower low than this low. It's definitely not a lower low than that low. It's a lower low than this low, but how many people are seeing that? It's a lower low than this low. There's too many different lows to look at. But most people could identify that as a swing, as a impulse move up. At the very least, you could identify from this to this. And even if you're using that as your impulse move up, from here, we still hit this 50% or greater. We're actually all the way down into the 75% discount, this red. So because I actually don't even remember if the price is going to go up or down here. All I'm saying is this is what I would call, this is what I would call PB4, pullback 4. It's a quantitative way to call out patterns. And we do. I must have seen that earlier. And then lo and behold, we go straight freaking up. And then here on this white dot, we move. This is what I want to see. I want to see the gentleman I met with last night. I could kind of hear his brain finally getting patterns when I started explaining some of this stuff to him. He's like, but not finally getting. The guy he only got the software on Saturday. Not finally. Some people take longer than others. Some people get the software and then think they're going to use it, and something happens, job switch, they don't have the time, and it could take a while to actually get up and running with this stuff. But you don't need the patterns. I highly recommend them. So what I want to see is the price action moving down into a white dot to have an assumption that white dot is actually going to do what the original probabilities of a white dot are up. But unless the price moves down into a white dot, I'm not giving it as high of a probability of going up. So it's kind of like when I see something like this nice slide into a white dot like that, I'm like, all right, I'll give that an extra 20% probability of acting like a white dot and going up. I actually have no idea if it's going to do that or not, and it doesn't. But it doesn't stop us out at our webinar stop, which is here, 1.5 ATR. I got to with the webinar. Let me just make sure that that's still the webinar stop. Yeah, 1.5. But eventually, it does go up. And if we're trading that dot to dot style, like Michael was teaching, we'd have a 56. We'd take a lot of heat. Yeah, you're taking a lot of heat. You're taking 80 ticks of heat to make 56 ticks. Oh, and then this is what I have no idea if this is going to work or not, but what I want to see for blue dots is the price moving up into blue dots. Price moves up into that blue dot. So I would give that a higher probability of a blue dot acting actually like a blue dot. And it does, oh, still didn't get stuck. I don't know what happened to the data. It's gone. Something to do with the end of day here. But that's the general idea. Let me see if I can find one more example. And Michael went over the puncture trades. Let me just see if I can find one more, like a pattern, a pullback 5 example. Oh, well, sometimes they're even, well, that's just a regular 5. I mean, anybody could see, anybody who knows patterns would see that. These are the ones that, these are easy to spot, right? So 5:15 a.m., price moves up, puts in, well, see, like there, it's not technically a higher high. It's right on the same high, but that's a pattern 5. We could say it's a higher high. It's equal to. In that case, it would be a 100% retracement of this move down. 100%. And then you can start doing, you can start getting detailed. No, that one doesn't quite do it. It's not a lot of good examples on the 3-minute. I've been using the 5-minute lately and the 152nd. I gotta be able to find one more. Hey, markets have been dang on well crazy lately. Look at that. That 1136 move. Oh, here we go. Oh no, that's not one. Yeah, I think I'm so used to looking at that other chart that they just stare at me. Wow, that's pretty cool. They pop out at me a lot easier. So there's the system. I'm starting to get really tired. My voice is already starting to go. And my right finger is starting to swell up with computer mousesism. I don't know. Mark, yeah, let's sign you up, dude. Sounds good. Let me show you folks my Skype handle. You know, then you can always go on the chart and just do this too, you know. You can quiz yourself on patterns. So you could go and just uncheck this box here. See what our pattern definer is a 4. And now we're going to get the pattern numbers to show up. So this move down, this is actually a really good example. Here's a move up. And we put in a new low, 50% on the candle before, and that's a pattern 4. PB4. And yeah, it's PB4, not a regular 4. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm definitely getting tired. It's actually the opposite of that. Yeah, I've been up since 5:30. No, 5:20. Oh, Mark, you already found me. Sweet, accept. I'm gonna just move to 1 second. Yeah, so if anybody wants the software, call Dave. His number is 727-742-2626. And Skype profile. There's me Skype profile. Oh, that's not good. Where is it? I think it's just Jake Royal. Yeah, Jake Royal, JakeRoyall. Sweet. All right, everybody. Well, till next time, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out. The software? Oh, the software is called TachEon TimeWarp. Yeah, let me go over. at the end here. Here's the website. And you go to product store, TachEon TimeWarp, flagship software. Most people start out with TimeWarp. And then the buy now button. And then you put in a code, blah, 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 blah. Put the code in, warp off. Oops, let's get that off. We don't need that for now, the pro training room. And apply. So that'll get $500 off. So under $2,000. And there's also financing available through this Sizzle company as well. Go Back to the Future. There's Michael. Okay, yeah, I'd be happy to get anybody up to date on anything that you want training wise. Let me just make sure there's no other questions in here. The commission on a micro is, I don't know, but by the time commission and fees and everything, it's about $1. Depends on what license you have on NinjaTrader as well. And then for NASDAQ, it's about $5. That's round trip. So this would be, I don't know, $39.95 minus 15, couple $100 in commissions probably by the time that's all said and done. Okay, now my shoulder's starting to hurt. I need to go play some guitar, I think, maybe. Get away from the electronics for a bit. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate you. Don't forget to call Dave. He can hook you up with software and probably throw in a free lesson with myself. Yeah, and I will end the webinar as I usually do. Remember, folks, there are no mistakes in trading, only happy accidents.